What I find the most interesting about capitalism in political discourse is the complexity of economics and the tendency to oversimplify really advanced concepts to fit a very narrow narrative, such as the correlation between capitalism and the rhetoric that comes from the right. I don't understand the obsession with the social justice agenda when it comes to the big picture politics. I do not mean in any way that these issues don't matter. In fact, that they have a very important time and place, which I believe is fluid and intersectional through all of politics. The right seems to bring these issues up preemptively, and it is very defensive of anyone who is farther to the left than they are comfortable. Just because I care about people of color and the humanitarian crisis at the border does not mean that I'm complicit in the wrongdoings of the Democratic Party. Although many have different opinions on what the problem is with the Democrats, and I, as a lily-livered lefty, believe it lies within catering to the center when we should really be taking care of our marginalized people who continue to vote blue because they have no other option. I am not saying run to the right, because you are going to find the same exact deep-rooted corruption that disconnects the people with the very democracy that the right claims to uphold so dearly. The difference between the discourse versus the left and the right is demonstrably apparent in how the extremists are represented in the mainstream media. The media tends to equate far-right extreme terrorism with leftist policy towards national security, basically saying regardless of their right-wing motive in committing acts of terror based on religion, we as a party that advocate for multicultural society are why these religious terrorists target the USA. For a classic example, not because generations of unjust bombings have had a tendency to breed extremism or anything, but because we chose to let brown people in. Very profound reasoning.
So the left really couldn't be clearer on this question. All immigration is good, more immigration is better. There is no distinction between legal and illegal varieties of immigration, and if you disagree with any of this, you are a white nationalist. That's what they've said almost every day for the past 2 years. We've watched carefully, and so have you.
These people throw around so many new words, as if to somehow compete with the very social justice warriors they claim to disdain. As a rational, compassionate being, we tend to want to see both sides of an argument, which is a really good trait to have in a human being, but a horrible trait to have as a snake oil salesman. Cultural Marxism, international Jewry, World War II revisionist, and white nationalist are all terms created to mask their true intent, which is to smuggle white supremacy into regular political discourse through pseudo-intellectuality and Fox skepticism. Even entertaining their word salad is dangerous, and it gives it some unjust validation. They will just push and they will shove until someone grants them their First Amendment right to be heard. It is not productive to engage with these people, for them or for your argument. They will appeal to your compassionate, rational side like the sleazy salesmen that they are until you give in and buy it. Take, for example, this clear straw man argument from our favorite person in the world, Tucker Carlson, on immigration. He says, and I quote, "The one thing that they want more than anything is more immigrants immediately delivered right to your door at federal expense."
Offering them the one thing they want more than anything, more immigrants, immediately delivered right to their door at federal expense. Well, it must have been like Christmas morning.
This is coming from a news story about Trump tweeting something ridiculous, and now we're considering it because democracy, I guess. That's just how I'm gonna say it now. Due to the fact Democrats are so unwilling to change our very dangerous immigration laws, we are indeed, as reported, giving strong considerations to placing illegal immigrants in sanctuary cities only, Trump tweeted. He added that the radical left always seem to have opened. Oh my god, how does he word this? I can't even read it. Okay, I'm just gonna read it normal. The radical left always seems to have an open borders, open arms policy. There have been at least two versions of the sanctuary city plan discussed. One to move people who have already been in detained places with the Democratic opponents of the president, which is weird. The other just to transport migrants apprehended at the border directly to San Francisco, New York, Chicago, and other spots. The surge of migrant families at the border has been taxing the system, and ICE says it no longer has the resources to handle immigrants processed by the Border Patrol. And as a result, so many people have been released that they have awaited court hearings. Okay, I think I've copied it and pasted this from somewhere, and I don't really like how it's written, so I'm just gonna not read it. If you watch the video that I am referring to, you will see a calm-looking Tucker opening the segment with genuine concern and a palatable amount of ignorance. Eventually, he starts to insert talking points about how much the left loves illegal immigrants. The wording he uses here is extremely important, as he alternates between using the term illegal immigrant and undocumented as if to strategically frame illegal immigrants as something negative and the negative stereotypes that come with illegal immigrants. In the same exact segment, he begins to insinuate that the left should welcome all immigrants, as our accepting nature requires us to, so we should have no problem letting illegal immigrants and open the borders to just anyone. He actually emphasizes the term just anyone. I could go on and on and on about his tirade about how letting just anyone into the USA would be detrimental to this Western culture that we've cultivated in rural USA. What the left is arguing for, at least progressives, is an equal opportunity for anyone born in the USA, brought to America as a child, or seeking asylum from danger or abject poverty, in which Canada or the US is the best option for sanctuary. We believe that once they arrive here that they can work and as a result pay taxes and contribute to the economy that you guys love so much. Much like your European ancestors did when they came to bother mine. I don't like the way Tucker Carlson structures his segments. They're they're framed silly. He talks to you like you're a kid walking through very extremely simple concepts, as if his audience is just a bunch of... In conclusion, Fox News is silly, and people who watch it voluntarily are also silly. I've provided links to great news sources and independent journalists that I follow that inspire these videos. When learning about politics and political theory isn't the only thing that's important when we are talking about what we believe. The best way to get a rounded perspective of the world is through history and science. Learning how the brain works, how history shaped laws, and eventually culture are key tools to have when analyzing any political landscape. These are things that people on the right have a large disadvantage in, so use this exploit to your advantage in battle, because knowledge is power. Stay spooky, and if you like these videos, continue to watch them, and have a good day.